Nerdrotic.com.
Warner Brothers announces, of course, Hunt for Gollum. They announced the casting for Aragorn, and I hate everything about the idea of this movie.
I don't think anyone's excited for this film.
No,
I don't think anybody is. It's
such
actually
a cash
kind of
grab.
crazy.
We're bringing back Ian McKellen. Fucking night. How old is he? Late 80s.
What is he going to do? As Gandalf?
As Gandalf.
Yeah.
But he's not going to play Frodo. Well, I did. Yeah, but I was like, I was wondering, like, I didn't know 86. If they'd actually like put him in a costume or something, or if they were going to have his voiceover doing something, or is this like an Ian McKellen like cameo where he narrates things? But geez,
no, he's going to be in it.
He was pushing it in the Hobbit movies. It was already obviously Christopher Lee.
Those stunt doubles were even more obvious. Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially with Christopher Lee. Saruman. But I don't understand the point of this. This is so you're going to have to. This is going to be basically an insert to Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings,
right?
And the way they shot it, I don't know where you're going. Like, do you have a timestamp where you're watching Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings and you stop and then you go and watch The Hunt for Gollum?
We won't be pausing that movie.
No,
that film will not be paused.
No. And then they're making two movies like this.
Yeah, both of them are inserts.
Where are the others?
That's the thing.
Yes.
And Stephen Colbert's hiring makes me more dubious about this because it makes it seem that this is going to be following more of an ideological line rather than Tolkien's values, which was what you said you wanted to do originally. And, Russell T. Davies often brought up, but it seems like it's that kind of thing, that you brought people back and they're not the same people they were, and they're coming at it with a different angle. And so I wasn't excited for this before, but now I am very dubious and cautious about it, that they're doing it for a reason, rather than just entertainment.
My curiosity is purely meta. It will be like, how bad is it? How much money does it make or lose? I don't think it'll be good. Obviously, I guess I'm always ready to be surprised, but we'll see. Maybe if we lived in a world where the Rings of Power show was actually very good and it was very, talked about and discussed and it had a very, very good reputation, maybe that would mean that this movie had some chance. But I feel like it just doesn't. I feel like it's a movie that nobody's asking for. I feel like even the title alone. He's like, oh, you're making a Lord of the Rings movie, and it's about that Gollum guy. He's like, obviously, Gollum's an incredible character, but he doesn't have exactly the Lord of the Rings pull.
Well,
the stories are done. They're told.
Well,
we're good.
There might have been interest in this if Rings of Power never came out, and this was like the next Lord of the Rings thing since the films. There was a big fan base interested because there was a lot of interest in Rings of Power. It was just an absolute piece of crap. And that soured anyone, I think, on any possible future Lord of the Rings or anything, because we don't trust that they could make anything good. They've shown how terrible what their attempts are.
It's I feel like a lot of the interest in Rings of Power was forced and artificial.
But I think people were interested because it was Lord of the Rings. But we've seen with War of the Rohirrim what Philippa Boyens is interested in making. Yeah. She's attached to a lot of these. We know from Stephen Colbert's thing, the description of that sounds like it was going to be mainly focused on the daughter rather than any of the characters we actually like. Mm-hmm. And so it makes you wonder where they're going with this. Is it literally going to be another bait and switch where actually it's to tell a different story than you'd be expecting even with this? Yeah, they're bringing back characters. Is that just a springboard for what they actually want to tell the story about? Because that's what War of the Rohirrim was.
This is something Peter Jackson wouldn't have agreed to even to produce in the time where it would have maybe had some interest, but it still would have been a bad idea if they did it in 2006, right? You're basically making two movies in between, keep it secret, keep it safe, and then the arrival at the Prancing Pony.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When it's unnecessary.
It's
completely unnecessary.
In the books, much more time actually passed between Gandalf leaving and then Frodo, leaving on his adventure. In the movies, they condense that. Like,
it makes total sense for what they
fits for the movie. Yeah,
I think it makes total sense for the way they adapted it with the movie and to not have that play out with the castings and with everything. You know what I mean?
Yep. And then, just recasting Aragorn. Good luck to that poor guy.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think from what I saw, he looks good as the
you can kind of see it, right? You're like,
you see it.
See it.
And he's a good actor. Yeah, but
he
geez,
did
the shoes to fill. Fuck me.
Yeah,
But it's not just an unnecessary sequel. It is an insert quill.
Yeah,
it's
this is some new thing.
And it's not, you're not adapting the books really. You're just putting in a missing piece from the movie that didn't need to be there in the first place. And wait till the next one when you get Colbert and it's just like fucking Tom Bombadil. Like, geez,
50 Shades of Grey guy is going to do great as Aragorn.
Hell yeah.
Who was also in Once Upon a Time.
Jesus. So
I guess we'll see.
When Steven Spielberg comes out and goes, we need to get away from IP. We need to start doing original stuff. Like, we are way down the road. Like, this isn't an unnecessary prequel or sequel. We're putting in little slices. When are they going to start doing with the Star Wars? It's
a movie called Rogue One.
Did.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. But at least that was before Star Wars, like leading up to it. When are we going to show missing parts of the actual movie? Just
within the start and end time of a movie, putting another movie in.
I kind of understand the obsession with IP when you're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on a movie. This is why they need to bring back lower budget movies that they can just make more of, because then you can do more risk. You can make 5 movies for the same price as your $200 million blockbuster. And then you will have more chances to set up a new IP and go from there. They've made a rod for their own back by demanding huge numbers to try and make headlines out of, rather than just being happy with profit.
Correct. They're going to run out of gas. We're already seeing it. They're running out of gas right now. They're mining stuff like Devil Wears Prada. Like, what are we doing? The Fockers is getting another sequel.
Fockers.
Grande Focker-in-law. What?
We're so tapped, bro.
I can't remember who
You
said
didn't want
it.
another Fockers movie?
There was a report like a year or two ago where one guy said one of the reasons they use IPs is so that when it fails, it's not their fault and they have like a get out of jail free card. They can just say the audience for the IP didn't turn up. And so it's arse covering all the way around. It's lowering they think it's lowering their risk for the budget, but it's also everyone involved now doesn't need to carry the can for failure, which has been a long-running problem in Hollywood, that these people fail and they just keep making more movies and they keep repeating history.
And they're not going to stop. Meet the Fokker. What is it again? What's the title of
Focker-in-law.
Focker-in-law.
They weren't allowed that
I remember that
movie
song.
title at first. They had to go to court and find out prove that was a real name for it to be legally allowed to be used in publicity. And they did find one family in some weird foreign nation with the name.
Hey, so the Burbs got renewed for a season 2.
Jesus.
No, really?
The Sims game?
How did anybody watch that?
It got renewed for a season 2.
I don't understand how that is even.
I'm waiting for the Mork and Mindy reboot series. They're going to do it.
Surprised they haven't done that yet, to be honest with you.
Taxi. We're going to get Taxi, but they're all female drivers.
Yeah.
Kind of like a demolition derby kind of thing.
And it'll be about getting in accidents and not being able to parallel park.
Yeah.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.